someone who we haven't seen a whole lot of recently, unless you're, an avid watcher of the Slab podcast. But even then, you guys, you've been slacking a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, Oak, if you don't mind introducing yourself and then just telling people where they can find you or support you and all that before we hop into things.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Thanks for having me. I'm flattered to be here. And your title, I don't think I've ever heard anyone say that before. I was like, oh my God, that was amazing to hear. That was really lovely. So thank you. But yeah, I'm a collector, obviously. I also grade and sell and do podcasts with Josh the Green Shares, and we have our own podcast channel called Slabbed Podcast. We talk about anything similar to what we're doing in this hobby. Also have my own channel, Professor Oak, and talk about random stuff. I don't really have like a theme. Of back in the day, years back, I was talking about PSA's grading numbers. What were they grading? How many were they going through? And then it developed into some fun live streams and game nights and all different kind of things. And I'm just trying to have fun in the hobby, really. And the people we're around, you and all the people you've had on this past month are really good examples of why I'm in the hobby right now. Honestly, these past few years, that's been the highlight for me. So, even though I started out watching the show and playing the games, that kind of stuff, collecting the cards, really the hobby has turned into like such a bigger thing, part of life. It's a daily part of my life, interacting with others, seeing what other people are doing and these kind of talks and stuff. Honestly, I've really enjoyed listening to your chats over these past few weeks. It's been the highlight of the month for sure. It's been really cool. So thanks for putting in that effort. I know you've put a lot of hours in. You haven't like potentially got back, in that sense. So someone that owes you some time somewhere. But yeah, it's been fun. You've had some really cool guests. I gotta say, I don't know, you probably have questions for me, but I have so much to say already just from listening to your videos. A lot of really cool guys, right, in this hobby. So many. Yeah. And it's been really interesting hearing just the hobby to them. Each person you've talked to has their own version, like their own way of interacting and their own place in this like environment. That's been super interesting, seeing different perspectives and different like I don't know, I guess goals and like different paths people are taking and stuff. Super interesting. Awesome. Dog Ibex was a fun one.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop listening the whole time. I was like forgetting everything I was doing. I was listening so intently. And then it broke out the game and I was like, oh, you're just like
that was a total surprise. Yeah, it was so cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people ask me like, oh, are you burning out yet? Are they getting boring? Are they doing all this? And it's like, I mean, am I burning out a little bit? Like, sure. But at the same time, Are they getting boring? No, because everyone is doing something different. I'm not talking to, I'm not talking to people who, I'm not talking to like 30 modern investors or 30 flippers of Japanese or like everyone that I'm bringing on. There's something unique about them. And that's the fun thing to chat about. So
I've loved that.
Yeah.
As a consumer of it, I've really enjoyed that, seeing all like I just said, you obviously planned it, and it worked well. But I think organically there is a lot of us interacting together, and we are doing different things, and I think that's what keeps it interesting, right? Showing each other and talking about all those different things, and yeah, you've done really well with it. So I appreciate the effort you're putting into it. I know I still have a couple on watch later. I haven't watched them all because there's been so many.
It's a lot,
so hard to find the time to listen. But it has been super interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So Oak, how did you briefly mentioned that you kind of got into the games and the cards when you're a kid, and what's your superhero origin story when it comes to Pokemon?
Yeah.
How did you get started with it, and how did it end up the way it is today?
I think the show was probably the biggest thing initially. because it was free on TV, and I lived on the street next to the school, so I just run home. And before my dad got home from work, I think I talked about it on a video before, but my dad would come home from work, and it'd be his TV at that point. So I'd be really quickly rushing to come home, and that was when Pokemon would be playing. It was just optimized for the perfect time. And so I'd watch the show, and man, I was obsessed. That show was awesome. As a 10-year-old, 9-year-old kid, whatever I was at the time, really, really cool. And so that obviously got my interest, and then people started, with the cards and the games and all the rest of it. So I'd be trading. I didn't have any money to buy packs. I was poor as a kid, so I'd trade literally my toys and things that I had at home. I'd bring them to school and trade them for cards. And then I started building out Rocket. Mostly Rocket was my biggest interest, but then some Gym Heroes and Gym Challenge. I didn't really have a whole lot of base set. I think I was interested in like the nuances with the Gym Challenge. We had like and the Rocket and stuff. There was trainers involved, and I just felt like it had a bit of an edge, and that really appealed to me. And then the dark stuff, I thought that was pretty cool. We'd never seen anything like that before. As kids. So that was awesome. And then I started working. I got my first job when I was 11. It was just before my 12th birthday. And I used a lot of that money to save up to buy Pokemon Yellow. I think it was the first one, and I got a yellow Game Boy, like not the one with the Pikachu on it. It was just a regular Game Boy. It was yellow, Game Boy Color. And then as time went on, ended up saving up and getting I want to say it was like the DS or Advance. It might have been the Advance SP. I forget which one it was. And I got Crystal. Crystal blew my mind. That was like, it consumed my world. When I got that game, I was obsessed. I mean, that thing was just incredible. And so, I just think there's just, I think I've always had this perspective, but I think something that Pokemon did really well, and why I've related so well to it, is it isn't just one thing. And you kind of touched on it, on the different guests. I like variety and variance and new stuff. I like to be like stimulated. I like a lot of like new stuff, like things to catch my eye. And so that's probably why I wanted to be a chef. Why I went into culinary and did that similar thing. You got different colors and textures and flavors, and there's so much you can do with it. I think it's the same for the hobby. Like I like exploring, finding new stuff, and I think that's exciting. And Pokemon has crushed that. Like there's Pokemon anything, right? You can dive into anything. There's the games, the shows, the movies, cards. There's any kind of anything you can buy, you can get it with a Pikachu on. So they did really well at that expansion and keeping interest and engagement. And that, I think that hooked me. I think that's probably a big part of it too. I should recognize.
Yeah.
I see people in the chat too. Hey guys, some familiar names.
Yeah, we got let's say Greeny is probably not going to be able to watch that much this afternoon, but he stopped by to say hi. FOMO, Gengar, Drew, Nanpy, Pokey South, and Thrifty. Thrifty's awake. How's it going, guys? So how did that kind of transition into where you're at now with, I guess, what are you doing now within the realm of Pokemon? Are you a collector? Do you flip? Do you do a little bit of everything? Kind of let us know how we can categorize you.
different world. I mean, it's not the same hobby as it was when I was a kid at all. And as a kid, making money or trying to like extract a benefit from it, financial benefit somewhat, never crossed my mind at all. It was all consumption. It was, having the fun, enjoying it. What can I collect? What can I get? What can I do? That kind of stuff. And now my expectations and my needs and desires in the hobby are so much higher that I have to try and make a little bit of money to fund that, right? Because I don't want to just keep throwing all my own money in. I've got kids and stuff. I don't want to take their lunch money to buy myself stuff. So I fund it I've kind of got like a full circle approach at the moment. So, buy stuff, grade stuff, sell stuff, collect stuff, trade stuff. I'm just dipping my fingers. Mason always makes fun of me this, but fingers in a lot of pies, right? I feel like I'm doing a lot of little things, not a little of a lot, And there's some people. I know you had Retro on, like he's really heavy into the Japanese selling. Is like really developing a niche. I feel like I'm a lot less of a niche. I'm not really doing anything super specific. I've got a pretty broad horizon, all different things that I'm doing, and I think my interests are broader than ever too. There's a lot of stuff I'm excited about. I enjoy, and so that's been fun. It's been nice. Like I say, just exploring, but making a bit of money. Making some profit and using that and buying something else. I love something that I think is underrated. I love gifting people things. I don't know what it is. In home life too, not just here, but I like gifting and like doing giveaways and stuff. So I do a lot of that. I sent a few different slabs out over the past couple of weeks actually to people, just for fun, and oftentimes they'll send me something back. I'll get something back. We did a trade. You did a video on it, right? Like a while back. I just love that. I think that's so fun and exciting, and it keeps like interaction interest in the hobby, so that's been fun lately too. I've been doing that the past few years, which I think as a kid, simplified, we traded cards. I made some bad trades as a kid, like some not very equal, I guess you could say, trades. I think we've all probably been there. But I had some really nice Rocket cards that I kind of traded up. I had Dark Charizard and all the rest of it. I pretty much had the full set. And then nowadays, I think it's more just about like the fun aspect of it for me. Yeah.
So with a love for Rocket, are you excited for Destined Rivals, the new Rocket set, half Rocket set coming out?
Too excited. Too excited. You know what though? That's been a bit of a bummer with it. I couldn't get it on the PC drop, so I'm hoping Pokemon Center, does a drop again and some kind of queue system or whatever. I really want to get a hold of some of the cards.
I think I was able to just get one, and it was like that might have been the limit. Actually, is just one when they dropped them. But luckily, I was able to get one. But I'm
optimistic that they're gonna add more. So, because one's good, but if you collect ETBs, I mean, one means I can't open any. Right. I'm not gonna open it, and then that'd be the only ETB I don't have. So I'd like to get 2 or 3. I would like to open some. I know that people are gonna say just buy the singles, just buy what you want, but that's gonna be a fun set to open. It's just regardless of the price, it's gonna be a fun one. And it's super rewarding when you get that card that you wanted yourself, but also there's a bit of excitement when you don't get it because you still have to figure out chasing it. You still got to figure out a way to get it. So, oh yeah, I forgot they're doing a Tampa one.
Thrifty, if I don't see Card Party Tampa, he's dead to me.
When is that? I forget when it is. I think it's pretty soon.
The first Card Party is where is it? June 27th.
Oh, I might be able to I think I'm out of town the second week of June, but I might be able to. Let me write that down so I don't forget.
Yeah, it's
I forgot all about it.
Highly recommend Card Party, especially if you have kids that are somewhat into Pokemon. There's so much stuff to do. It's not like a Collecticon where it's just tables full of stuff. There's so many more activities for kids at these things. It's
that's cool.
It's a much more engaging experience, especially for young people. So
my daughter will be turning 7 in June, and she's got some Eevee slabs. She loves Eevee, that's her favorite. And then she's got a bunch of cards or stuff she picks out of my piles and piles I have over there. She'll pick stuff out.
Yeah.
And she's actually she's got a deck box. Weedle's Warehouse gifted me a really fancy leather deck box, like a really nice one.
Oh, nice.
with all Sword and Shield packs in. And I'm letting her use the deck box to like build. She don't know what she's doing, but like build a deck. So she's playing with that at the moment. And got some stuff in there. And I think that's the cool like other level that you talked about there. Now, like I'm old, like I'm not a kid anymore, in this hobby. I have kids, and so that's like another layer of it, of like sharing that experience and showing them what's cool, letting them explore and play around and build packs and stuff. That's been fun. I wish she was more interested. She's mildly, but not super into it like I was. But she is, if you give her a pack, she'll open it and get excited and stuff. So that's cool. And I know a lot of people, in our group, they've got kids that are interested. I know Josh opens them with his kids too, and they have fun. Does add a fun level to it. So I could see Card Party, that being a cool experience if there's the extra stuff. Yeah.
It's a very different hobby nowadays, because when we were kids, it was like we were really into it, but our parents were like, oh, look at them. They like the silly cards with the silly, and they didn't know the Pokemon names and stuff. And now because we collected it, we're growing up, we're at the age where we're having kids, and now those kids are enjoying it, and they can enjoy it alongside of the parents who also know about it and are also into it, which is cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I love that. I don't remember my parents even knowing I had any. Like it was just something I did myself. Like, because I think partly because of, like I said, I would sometimes swap my own toys, like my own things that I had for them, and they would have killed me if they found out I was doing that. So I think some of it was just like my own little thing, and that I always get really sad when I hear of people saying, "Oh, my sister or my brother took my Pokemon cards, or my parents threw them away or sold them or whatever." I'm like, oh, that must suck so bad. That's gotta hurt so bad, because I was so careful to like keep mine safe in a binder. I still have the binder over there, and I was like really protective over them, which is, I guess, weird for a little kid, but
yeah. So give us a little bit of history on your work professional experience, because I know at some point, you've already mentioned that you were a chef, but I don't think you're a chef now. So I'm curious, how did you go from working at 11 years old, which I'm pretty sure is not legal, or maybe it was back then.
In England? Yeah,
it is legal in England.
The laws are different. When I was a kid in England, the legal age to drink alcohol was 5.
Oh, well.
So the laws are not the same. I think they're 8 now. I think they'll put them up. But yeah, I started working when I was 11. I worked at the local like used car garage, and I would just clean the cars on the weekend. I'd do 8 hours on a Saturday and 7 hours on a Sunday. So basically I was like, I was in school all week. So I did 7 days a week. I didn't really get any downtime. But I got that. I got paid pretty much nothing for it. It was just a little bit of pocket money. But you learn a lot, like working and getting money, and and realizing what work is at a young age. It builds character and strength and a little bit of hunger. And during that time, I started studying cooking in school, in high school, and I loved it. And I was getting good grades, and I was like super interested. And it was the one thing in school that didn't feel like I just had to sit there and write and do tests and do math and stuff. I got good grades, like fairly smart. Wasn't really bad at anything as such. That like would make me not want to write or read or whatever. I was just really interested in the doing and the colors and the flavors and everything you could do with it. So I really loved that. I ended up studying it the whole way through high school. And then I went to culinary school full time when I was 16. I left high school, went full time at 16. And I graduated with my culinary degree when I was 17. And then Thrifty said MI6. I love that she knows the difference between MI5 and MI6 too, because it would actually be MI6. And so yeah, I went there, and then went on to be a chef. Like I worked as a commie chef, and then as a chef de partie, a pastry chef, and then I won some awards. I had a lot of success. Really fun. I had a really good time with it. And then I went on to become a head chef. I was a head chef at 23. And that caused a bit of a problem for me because that was my lifelong goal. Like when you become a chef, you know, that's like the pinnacle. That's the top of the mountain. That's like what you get to, what you strive for. And I got there too early. I shouldn't have been a head chef at that age. I don't think I was a very good one. Like I did it, I was great, but I don't think I was that great at it. I think I would have been better if I'd have had more experience. You know, just trying to be humble here. You know, if I'd have been more experienced, had more skill managing the teams. You know, the people and staff, and I don't know, just had more of the leadership skills and experience and less of the cooking passion, and because I was great at the cooking, you know, that was definitely my forte. And the menu design and all that kind of stuff. But there's so much more to it as a head chef. So did that, and then cooked for a few years, and then realized, wow, like I'm just in the kitchen all day, every day, missing everyone's birthday, like relationships not working, and just like real life outside the kitchen was hard. It's hard being I'm sure chef will speak to it, but it's tough making time and like living in the real world when you're in that position. So, I mean, to the point where the place I was a head chef at, I lived in the restaurant upstairs.
Oh, wow.
So I never even left. I literally barely left the restaurant. It just kind of consumed me. And so I'd never had a real vacation ever. So I got on a flight and landed in Chicago with like $300 in my pocket and a backpack, and I just traveled for a few months. And then on my way, you know, down the country, I was in Florida. I have a half brother in Florida I was visiting, and I got talking to a girl, and 6 months later I was married. And now we have you know, the position where it's like, okay, I guess I'm staying. Like, what do I do? Get a job in a kitchen. So I ended up getting a job in a kitchen, you know, here in town. After a few months, ended up running the place basically. Straight back into the chef world. Went on to run, you know, a nice place next to the Opera House, and then a brunch place. You know, moved around a couple of bits, and then was like, oh, same thing. I moved here to be with my wife. Never see her.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, always at work all the time. So I moved into banking, and I was like, that will give me a normal job and a career, and you know, make good money, and I'll be able to see my wife. And I was bored stiff. It was so boring, and not satisfying any of that hungry drive and passion that I had in the restaurant. So that didn't last too long, and I figured, how can I find a balance with that? And so I basically I got a computer science degree, you know, at the local college. I went and studied that, you know, learned all about IT, and I was super interested in it, and got a job with a pretty big company, a big website, and ended up moving up, you know, just busting my butt there. And I ran like their fraud and risk and all that kind of stuff, you know, basically fighting dark web crime, you know, and deep web crime, that kind of stuff. Did that for a while, and then now I just got promoted to set up a whole new department, and I'm running something that's a little bit different, and I'm basically looking after about 8,500 employees. So it keeps me pretty busy. There's a lot going on with that, but it's remote, you know, work from home. Just come in every day and just doing almost the exact opposite of the issues I had when I was a chef. You know, now my job is almost completely leadership. Like that's primarily what I'm doing, you know, just trying to help other people be successful, and follow laws and policies and that kind of stuff. So life's had like some weird changes. Like I'm on like, you know, my third career basically. But right now I think I'm in the best spot I've ever been in. Obviously career wise, but also I feel like I've got a role that I enjoy, but I also get time with the family, and I get time for the hobby. You know, I'm doing another degree at the moment, that kind of stuff. So I feel like things are pretty optimized. I just wish there were more hours in the day. So that was a really long answer, but I just tried to give like
that was good.
the timeline of everything. Yeah.
So one thing is, when you were a chef, I'm pretty sure there's a clip out there somewhere that you were
Okay.
on television at least once,
Yeah, I think there's
like a
clips
morning
and a
show
couple of
or something.
pictures. Yeah, it was like an ABC, whatever number it was, ABC 6 or 9 or something like that. Yeah, the fine dining place that I ran here for a little while, we got on one of those, and it's basically like a marketing thing, I think, that my boss had set up. And the owner of the restaurant, and
Mm,
we did Indian food, cooked Indian food, so like some samosas and stuff like that.
yeah,
Indian food is, the owner was English, and Indian food in England,
it's
it's like
huge.
it's the number one takeaway. It's
Yeah,
bigger than fish and chips. Like, people don't realize like how big it is. Here you have pizza restaurants, pizza shops and stuff, and over there we have Indian or fish and chips, like that. Sometimes Chinese food, that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, we did that, and that was daunting, obviously, but definitely fun. I think the TV aspect, like the TV chef part, was definitely interesting to me. I just don't know if I would have been very good at it, honestly. So I try to be like real with myself, like like let's maybe not explore stuff that's just like not going to be that great at it.
yeah.
But
It's
it's
funny
fun.
because when you Google, and I just did it to make sure, but if you Google UK national dish, the one that pops up, the more popular one that pops up is chicken tikka masala, which is uh,
Oh yeah,
an Indian dish,
huge.
which is yeah, it's very interesting. But yeah, Indian food is, I mean, you can attest to that, but I think it's massive in the UK.
Huge, and it's good. I mean, there's
Yeah.
good reason for it. I mean, it's incredible food. I do it. I'd probably say I cook it. I do a good curry once or twice a month. But I do it. The thing with the Indian restaurants there, they cook Indian food for English people. A
Yeah.
lot of it isn't
So
like
it's
what
not
we
as
would actually
spicy. It's not
really eat.
as, yeah.
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 And so one of the ones I make, it's not crazy spicy or anything, but it is more like genuine. It's more like old school. So there's red peppers, julienne red peppers, and peas and carrots and sweet potato. There's like a lot of vegetables in it, which in England it's basically like the meat with sauce on it is a curry, where like a
Yeah.
real old school authentic curry has a lot of flavors and textures and colors. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on with it. So I try to do it like that, and you always, after you eat it, you're like, oh, that filled my soul. Like, it just, I don't know, it's just one
Yeah.
of those foods that really fills you, just makes you feel good. So research your curries if you make it at home, guys.
So clearly you have a lot of ambition. You're on your third career,
Very, very driven person.
different careers. You're getting another degree.
My third.
Yeah, you're working. You're constantly working toward promotions, bettering yourself, and becoming more educated and doing those things. Is that why you decided Pikachu was going to be the card that you were going to collect? You were going to be a Pikachu collector because at some point you're going to work toward that illustrator to
I
really
think
round out the collection.
if you're gonna make life difficult for yourself and like create a mountain to climb, you're gonna
Yeah.
collect Pikachu.
Yeah.
You're right. And honestly, it's funny you see that. Like, we can laugh, but I think subconsciously that probably is a part of it. It's not just that I love it, because I really like Ditto. Shout out Ditto and Mew, but I don't have anywhere near as many cards of those. Like, they're interested, but I think I love the idea with the Pikachu collection of there just being so many. When I first started with the registry, I want to say there was like 700, I think, listed. I haven't checked it recently, but there's a lot of Pikachu cards to collect, a lot. And I mean, you can speak to the Japanese promos and stuff too. The sheer scope of how many things are going on there. And you were talking about like the other day you were talking about Pokepark and stuff like that, and it's like, oh god, I think about that stuff and I'm like, there's so many things I still need to get. It's just never ending, reaching and climbing and just trying to find. But it's also fun, the learning, because of, like you're saying with the Pokepark, a lot of the stuff, especially a lot of the Japanese stuff, there's a story of like how it became, to fruition, how you had to get it, or that kind of stuff. I've learned so much the past couple of years about, from listening to other people speak about cards. That's super interesting. And I think Pikachu is a really easy way to get that fix, because there is so much of that around the Pikachu cards.
Yeah.
Right? Like I just
Yeah.
feel like there's so many things there.
I talked to Sam GB Collectibles about the art academies, because he was trying to collect all the art academies at some point, the English ones, not the Japanese ones, and it took him 10 years, and he
Insane.
finally completed the art academy, well, the English art academies. And it's interesting because I asked him, and I wanted to do it in not like a make him depressed type of way, but when you spend 10 years working towards something and you finally achieve it, and you kind of talked about this with becoming a head chef at 23, is like, does it feel good just to be the owner of those things now? Does there have to be another mountain for you to climb? Does there have to, do you hang on to them? Do you sell them and start something new? Do you, are you content with the collection, or are you a little bit sad because there's not, something immediately to chase? You have to set something else back up for yourself. Or so if you ever completed the Pikachu collection, well, how do you think that would even feel? Like, I'm sure it would be relief, but at the same time, would you need another mountain to climb?
What I'm thinking of is you're saying that stuff. This might just be a little bit of my general thought process in life, like the psychology of how my brain works. But I'm thinking of that phrase that, like, the thrill is in the chase. I really get the thrill out of the chase in a lot of different aspects. With like you say, with the career progression and trying to achieve stuff, trying to get stuff done. I really like lists and like working through a list, and then I like adding stuff to a list, even not even just a crossing off. I love like more. I'm always hungry, and the idea of finishing that list and having nothing to add or nothing to cross off for the Pikachu collection is almost a little daunting. I don't know I'm not sure how that would feel. I think the mindset would just completely switch, right? The whole view and perspective you have on that situation would just be gone. Yeah. I don't remember what he said about that. Did you talk with him about completing it? I don't remember him talking about how he felt on that.
Yeah. He basically said that there is a little bit of like but he still buys and sells and does stuff a lot with the art academies. So he has his collection, but he still interacts with them a lot. So he still works with them. But yeah, it was a sense of relief, but also a sense of like, what am I going to do now, sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's like anything, if it's gone, because you're constantly thinking, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to get this. And then when that feeling's gone, that's how you've been associating with the collecting it. That is the collecting, is the chasing it and figuring it out. And similar to what I said with the Pikachus, like there's some Pikachus I'm still finding out exist. Like it's not even just trying to find them. Sometimes I'm having to learn, and I didn't even know that one existed, or now I've got to get that one too. There's been a lot of that over the past few years. A lot of that I've consumed by, watching, people like yourself, just looking at videos and kind of going through stuff. The Japanese has been fun because they really have done. They've done a lot of stuff with just not non-set things, like we said, with promos and stuff. So that's been interesting. Yeah, that would be really weird to like have it complete. Also, I feel like I'd be very bankrupt because there's a lot of very expensive Pikachus that I'm really avoiding at the bottom of the list. I'm not sure I'm ever going to get to it. I mean, even like, you're talking about the Mario Pikachus the other day. It might have been last night. And ridiculous. And I was like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, now they're like 9, 10K plus. It's like, well, in a 10 at least. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think my sweet spot is like the the $5 cheapo ones that you just need to check off your list to like the $200. I think I've sold plenty over 200, but it's normally been from buying and grading and turn it into that. I haven't really bought that many over that kind of range. I haven't gone big on any really as such. And I think people are sometimes like disappointed in me almost at that. Like no one ever really says it, but like I think they think because I'm a Pikachu collector that I have all the biggest, best, most expensive Pikachus, and I don't. Like I have some really nice ones, but I think for me that isn't as important to me. It's not like an ego thing. It's the exploring and learning and figuring out all those new ones. So yeah, I have a lot of like variation, a lot of slabs. I'm sure some of the people in the chat, I'm not sure who's here right now, but there's quite a few people, collect on stuff that have seen them. I remember Pool Father, I think he might have gone through my slabs. Weedle's Warehouse, the first ever convention I went to, he was looking at them and he was like, dude, why do you have so many Pikachus? And I was like, I love Pikachu. Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
In terms of the registry, I know you have been doing a lot of that with the PSA registry.
Not so much lately.
Not lately.
No. So I was. I think when I first started throwing them in, I think I was second in the world for Pikachu.
Oh wow,
which That's is awesome. Crazy now.
Yeah.
Now there's so many people in there and big hitters. The guy Jeremy Padua. He set up
the name before
the Squishmallow toys. Those Squishmallow things. Yeah. That's Jeremy. I think he's number one in the world for Pikachu. Wow. Okay. Huge Pikachu PSA slab collector. And he started adding stuff in there, and I was like, I'm just never going to get first. Like, there's just no way. This dude's like a multi-bajillionaire.
Yeah.
And I think also, I was pretty heavy on it at one point, and then I started seeing some of the slabs, and I thought, some of these feel a little like overpriced. I don't know if this is going to be, sustainable for a while. And I feel like I can get these back easy. Some of them, not all of them, plenty of them I kept, but some of the more like common ones that I felt were overpriced and I'd be able to buy back in a snap, in a year or two's time, I sold them. So then that obviously brought me down, but I think I want to say I'm probably still top 20. Like I'm still in there. There's so many more people in there right now. And then some of them I haven't even uploaded. Honestly, I've kind of dropped off a little bit with it. But I think with the degree the past year or so, it's kind of soaked up my time. I think taking this summer off, I want to revisit that. Like I want to go through my list again, get it updated, see is there any like easy no-brainers that I can buy back, at a cheaper price now. I have some savings I've collected from selling, over the past year or two. I may just jump into that, my hobby money and just buy some. So watch that space, watch that list. You might see me climbing again this summer. Yeah.
Nice. So what was your introduction into the Pokemon like YouTube sphere, the content sphere, and then what motivated you to want to start your Discord and make that a thing?
That's really good questions. So there's a couple of things for the second part. I'll answer the first one. That's a little bit of a story, but I'll try to be quick. So I basically COVID just started, right? I got sent working from home. I was thankful because I was driving an hour and a half to the office each day and back. So it was, it was sucking up 3 hours of my day, and I had a little kid, so that sucked. The work from home was awesome, but I realized I was like, a little bit bored. I was sat in the spare bedroom by myself all day while I was working. So I'd never really interacted with YouTube. That probably sounds super boomer on me. I've never really used YouTube unless I needed to go find a video to like, how do I fix this or something like that. And I stumbled upon, it was like Leon Hall or someone, talking about Pokemon cards. And I was like, I still have my Pokemon cards. I was like, I didn't realize there's like other adults that still have them and do this thing. I'd been out of it. I hadn't really been in the hobby for years. And so I stumbled on that and I watched a few videos and I was like, wow, these are like so much better and like cooler than they used to be. There's still like a lot of interest. This guy was getting like loads of views, Lean Hot, bunch of views. I was like, it's not just me. Like, what the hell? Like, I was like mind blown. And so I started soaking it up. But then I was like, I feel like this video isn't targeted to me though. Like, it's like Lean Hot's videos wasn't targeted to, someone in their 30s that's a, a professional and wants to like get back into it. And so I went down a little bit of rabbit hole, and I actually, I feel like I watched a couple of videos, and I watched this one, and there was nobody in the video. It was a guy just talking, and he was like an adult, and he was talking like an adult, and he was like ranting a little bit, and I was like, oh, okay, this is new. Like, I've never heard something like this before. And then he made another video, and I was like, oh, and it was like very early on to him making videos, and it was PK. And so I started like interacting, watching other videos, talking with him, ended up being his mod, ended up modding for him. I think me, Basic, Felipe, and might have been just those three. Drew, might have been just those three, and me. I think it was just those four that started out as his first mods. And that was it. I was like, okay, now we're in like adult hobby now, because like the way we were talking and the videos he was making and that kind of stuff, started interacting. And then I started interacting on other people's videos, ended up becoming a mod for, basically that's what I became, a mod for a bunch of YouTube channels. So I think I was doing it for, it might have been Mason. I don't remember. There's quite a few now. Even Rusty, like I was mod for him for a while. There's some pretty cool guys. I was like pretty flattered, and that was what I did. Like every night, I was like modding and just having fun in the chat, like interacting with people. And then I was like, I feel like this could be something. Like we could have a space to like. It doesn't have to be just in the live chat. Like I want to create something where we can just chat and have fun and share things and stuff. And so I discovered Discord. I made that, and then boom, everyone jumped in. Like all of our friends, all of us just jumped in there. Obviously, some random people in there that never interact. They're just from the videos or whatever, or been referred over. But like everyone jumped in, and we all just hung out, like busted each other's balls, shared pictures, and it kind of turned into what it is now. I think it's interesting that you meet so many people in there that are so different, but we all like there's just like a common thing that's the hobby, but we all have our own version of the hobby, and I love that. So yeah, that turned into that, and then it was like, I kind of want to make video. Like I want to make videos like other people are doing it. Like I wonder if I could get 100 people to be my friend, and we could all just have fun making videos and like talking about stuff and opening things and whatever. And so I started doing it, and I got like 10 subscribers, and I was like, I still remember, I got goosebumps thinking about it. I was like, oh my God, I've got 10 people that just like want to hang out, like watch my videos with me. That's awesome. And then it was like 20, and then it was like 50, and then it was like 100. And I was like, I won the lottery. Like I literally have 100 subscribers. I was so proud and like so excited, because the people in there were in the Discord, and we were interacting, and everything was happening just how I'd planned and how I'd imagined. It was so exciting. It was so cool just hearing like from them their thoughts, and seeing people talk, and just being able to create like a place for people to have some fun. It was just a little bit different, and also it was like anything goes. The only rule we have in the Discord is no buying and selling, because I'm not interested in it. I don't want it to be about money. I don't want it, like I've always said, I'll never charge for the Discord or anything like that. I just wanted it to be about like us as people, like in this hobby. And I think that like just being organic with it was like really, really benefited like the experience for a lot of people in there. I think a lot of people have enjoyed it. It's changed over the years. People have come and go, and the environment's changed. It definitely got like just different. I don't know how to describe, just different. The more people came in there, I think when there was less, it was more like of a just one conversation, like and then we'd all just talk about that one thing. And I think as there more came up, it became like lots of other little things happening and stuff going on. So that changed a little bit. But then also with my YouTube, I started making videos. That kind of happened. I started doing all different things. I was doing live streams and I was doing videos about PSA 10s and pricing and what was PSA selling at and game nights and conversations. I had PSA come on and I had this person come on from BGS and this and that. I was just kind of like just having fun with it, And then Greeny, I don't know how I managed to convince him, but we ended up starting the podcast, and that was like super exciting because I was like, wait, does this mean like I'm a YouTuber now because we do a podcast? I felt like, wow, this is pretty awesome, and we've had a lot of fun doing that. That's been really exciting. So it's changed, it's developed. Like I'm still helping out modding on videos. A lot of time I'll just have it on. I won't interact as much or talk, but if something happens, I'll just delete. We used to have like those bots. I don't know if you remember, like the bots would come in. I think you had one at one point, and we had to, block and delete them. And I'll just jump in and take care of stuff sometimes. But my time's been difficult the past year, so less of it. But yeah, I'm just like, I'm interacting with the hobby in so many different ways, just keeping it exciting.
Yeah.
Chat's blowing up.
We've got some nice comments, and then we do have a question that I want to ask. So Fat Belly gives credit to making videos to Oak.
I think I told him he has to. I was like, dude, you need to start making videos and talking about this stuff. And he did. He actually went and started doing it. And I was so excited to see that. I love that.
Got your average player. I give so much of my love for this hobby. Credit to Oak. Son of a Merc. Oak always manages to find the smaller guys and lifts them up. He was on my day one of my cringe.
You guys are going to make me cry.
And then, Pokemage, what's up? How's it going? We have a comment from Vitalik. He is curious how you balance being a dad of young kids and also having a hobby, because he is struggling with it.
That's a really good question. I'll be completely honest. I wait till they're in bed. That's really the only time I'm doing stuff. I do most of it either like if I'm on my lunch break at work or something, they're not here. But when the kids are home, like this is very rare. Like you won't see me really doing, daytime live streams. We had to make a bit of an exception for this, but generally it'll be nighttime. So I'll work all day during the week, work all day. Kids, dinner, playtime, bath, that kind of stuff, get them in bed, and then it's degree time. That's when that normally starts till late. But during that, if I find a gap, maybe I'm making dinner and they're watching TV, maybe I'll jump on Discord for a minute or something like that. Like I'll find gaps and moments, but I'm very confident in the hobby not being a priority over the kids. Because it's not like the family is always first, no matter what.
Yeah.
Work, education, hobbies, anything. Wife and kids, number one over anything. And I think once you're like are okay with that, you like figure that out and you figure out a cadence on whether you can or can't spend time doing something. I mean, you don't need to excuse it, feel good, feel bad. It just is what it is. So the way I balance it is I put everything else first. Whatever's left is the time I can make for the hobby, essentially. And I do make time. We do the podcast with film on Wednesday nights, and doing this right now. Like you can do it. You just have to optimize every minute of the day, essentially. Yeah. It's tough though. Time is my biggest weakness out of anything at the moment, for sure.
Gotcha.
That's a good question.
Yeah, it is, definitely. Thank you very much.
Do you feel like you're juggling stuff to put time into the hobby at the moment?
Not really. I mean, as a single person with no children, it's a lot easier because I have cats, a lot more. Right? Yeah, I have cats, but they're a little more chill than a 7-year-old. I would think. But yeah, so no, I mean, I have a full-time job, and luckily I get to do that from home. So it's not really, and it's not a super stressful job. It's pretty chill for the most part. So I can, yeah, I think I'm doing pretty good in terms of
That's
balancing
good.
time. So, but I
I
have a
will.
lot less bumps in the road for that balance. So
It's a challenge. I did after because I've watched quite a few of your videos from these past few weeks. Dog Ibex, I enjoyed that chat so much, and then when he went into the game, I enjoyed it so much. I did make us a game if we do have time towards the end.
we always have time for games.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
It's a fun one. It's nothing crazy. It's pretty simple, but I thought it'd be fun for us to do a little something. Thanks for this
yeah. We
inspiration.
always have time for games. Absolutely. Let's see. I said this to Dan as a child of 2 hardworking parents. I'll say you really don't know how much time with your children means or will mean to them. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think from personal experience, I've seen what the flip side of that for sure. So I'm very cognizant of them feeling like I'm present, and I do want to interact and spend time with them, and I enjoy it. I never feel like bad, or like sick of it or anything. I'm the guy that could be a stay-at-home dad, like if I didn't have a job, easily, like without even thinking about it. I could do that. I love it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Whose idea was it for the for the podcast? It sounds like maybe you asked Greenie.
He said it was me, but I thought it was him. It was so long ago now.
Yeah.
I thought he made a comment about us doing it, and then I was like, yeah, why not? But he said it was the other way around, that I made a comment and he was like, yeah, let's do it. So I don't, maybe we could check receipts on that. Maybe we still have the messages or whatever it was going back to the beginning, but it was pretty mutual. Like we were both like, yeah, we're different, and but we both have like a really interesting way. We both look at the hobby very differently and interact with it differently, but there is crossover in a lot of those ways that we do, and we like each other. Yeah, I love him. I think it's brilliant. I used to watch every one of his single videos. Even now, I still do. But up until then, I was a fan. Like that's the thing. Most of the people in the Discord, I'd be watching their videos and like I'm a fan of them, and I'd be excited. We were joking earlier about fat belly and stuff. Like me telling people to start their own channels. I'm that bad. I remember, Max Potion. I remember sending Max a headset, literally sending a headset, and I was like, I need you. Like, you got to start making content because it got a lot of cool stuff. Yeah. And so, yeah, maybe I'm a bit too pushy with it sometimes, but I love that for sure. I love seeing people. I want to hear about your hobby. I want to hear about your experiences. I want to hear what you got to say. And that's been probably the best part, I think, of the past few years. Been the most fulfilling in the hobby for sure. So that's why I've loved your videos you've been doing.
Yeah, some of my favorite conversations I've had this month, and I've enjoyed all of them to some degree, but some of my favorite ones are talking to people who don't have YouTubes. They're just they just do stuff, or they're former TCG champions, or they're local people that I know from going to shows, or Sam GB Collectibles isn't really on YouTube at all, but he did all the art academies, and he's kind of a high roller, and a lot of people don't make videos and don't have do content or tell people what they're doing. So it was fun to chat with those types of people. Yeah.
You guys need to start.
Oakie's gonna send you a headset.
But really though, they all had good stuff to say, all of them. And I remember I'd see you posted this is because you preemptively set it up, right? And it says the name you're going to talk with them, and I'm like, I don't know if I've ever seen them in a video before. I know the name, I've seen them, I've interacted with them, or I've seen them talk or whatever, and I'm thinking, I can't think of ever seeing them in a video. So that makes sense. Some of them haven't. So that has been fun. I agree. I think that was a really good way to shape it, as opposed to just trying to get like all the the big guns, pull the big guns out. You got the real people in the hobby, right? Like, literally like the real people that's in it.
Yeah, and it's just incredibly hard to get any of the big guns. At least for me, I did DM a few big gun people who I thought I had good questions for, and yeah, that pretty
Not
much
yet.
went unread.
Series
So
2, next April, we'll go
yeah.
again.
Oh God, I don't know if I could do it again. Maybe we'll see. Yeah, but
Maybe you do it as maybe a weekly thing. Maybe just do, or once a month or something. You get someone random on and just have a conversation. You do so well in the. I mean, I know I've had you on my channel even. I think you do so well on like lives and videos and stuff, interacting with people. Because it seems so like easy and fluid and simple for you. Like I think you should carry it on. Like I don't see any reason why you wouldn't want to.
I think this was a real crash course in chatting with people who I don't talk to very often or who I don't know at all, because
Yep.
that is definitely something that I struggle with, especially with like small talk and active listening and, figuring out more
I think you
questions
pulled it
to
off
ask.
pretty well.
Well,
No,
the first conversations that I've had on this channel, I think I had like Retro on was maybe the first one that I had. And then Dan and a
Yep.
few people after that. I used to get so nervous. Like my stomach would be doing flips beforehand and like all this stuff. And now, like, especially this month, it's just at this point, I'm just like, let's just go live. Let's just do it. and so it's been a good experience chatting with people and actually, because it's not, to be honest, it's not something that I do very often. Interaction, I work from home. A lot of my work is very like solitary, so there's not a lot of conversation. And
I wish I had more of that.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this, and I'm glad other people have been really enjoying it as well. So
I average probably 120, 140 meetings a month.
That's a lot.
Pretty much nonstop interaction all day, every day.
That's like 4 meetings a day. Yeah.
No business days. So it's a lot.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Some days I'll have 12 like in one day, and it's
that's
tough.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's really tough. So I have no problem like talking to people. I would say the biggest thing for me that's made me feel comfortable in this hobby, talking with people, kind of like what you're saying, like just even people that haven't really interacted with and stuff, is just knowing that there's like no intentions on either side. Like you just want to chat and have fun and just hang out. I try and remind myself that, because I have got nervous in the past. I had Greg from the PSA set registry come on, and that was like PSA. It's a little like, oh, this is a little bit daunting. But like 2 minutes in, I was like, this is awesome. Why was I even, worried or nervous about it or whatever? Such a cool guy. Just no intentions.
So I'm curious at this point, because I know there's maybe one controversial thing that ever happened on your guys' podcast, and you had a guest that was controversial to a lot of people, and then the episode got pulled down, and then it got put back up, and then I don't know where it's at this point. But what was it like chatting with someone controversial in the space and then getting kind of that pushback and feedback from people after the fact?
Yeah, I will be honest. I was a very small part of that, and I don't mean that it's like, Greeny was the one like that made it or that way or whatever. He just handled like the communication and logistics of it all. Honestly, I think for me it's almost, I felt a little bit like, when reporters interview people, like they don't just report on the good cloudy sunshine stuff. Like they'll talk to anyone, whatever it is. If someone's got a story to tell, like you should listen to that. Like you should listen to everyone. People need to hear like the full story, the full picture. That's how you learn critical thinking, right? Because you'll listen to it and you go, I agree with that. Yeah, that makes sense. Or that person's talking crap. Like that doesn't make sense. And that's how you form opinions. That's part of how you form character. And if people were never talking about things with people that were controversial, with different opinions or discourse. You know, we literally Discord is based around that discourse. And so for me, it was like, yeah, I mean, I don't want to like, I'll be a part of it, you know, I'll do that kind of thing. I didn't see, I also didn't know much about the situation. For me, it was like, I knew the basics, but I didn't know as much detail as I learned after, you know, on some of the things that came back, you know, people made, you know, talked about as in their video and stuff. But yeah, for me, it was maybe a naive, but also like voluntary naiveness. Like, really, is there really that much to worry about? Like, like, you know, is there that much to think about and overthink with this? For the most part, someone has something to say. I'm pretty good with like free open speech, and I share that value for years in the Discord. It's not just, you know, that one moment on YouTube. I'm fine with. I don't think. I think we've blocked one person on Discord, and all the years that we've had it, I don't know if there's many Discords that have only blocked one person.
Yeah.
So it's very open, very trusting, very mature like environment in that sense. There's been some people I've wanted to, I've been pretty close, but for the most part, I am pretty open with like who's in there and like what they're talking about and stuff, because I don't want to control it. I don't want to control freedom of speech and that kind of stuff. It's one of the greatest things about America. In England, I mean, you put a flag, you know, you put the country's flag on the front of your house in my area, and the council, they give you a fine. Like the local government fine you. You know, they class it as like racism almost. So freedom of speech is not like it is in America. It's not like it is in most other countries. It's not even slightly the same. So I embrace that. I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. What's your perspectives on it? I'm curious for your thoughts
on that particular.
Yeah,
I watched it before it was taken down, and I thought it was a relatively benign, like, you guys just had a
felt mild, right?
Good conversation, and he showed some cool collection stuff, and I thought, okay, that cool. And then all of a sudden I heard that Greeny took it down because there was pushback and issues with people, and I was just like, oh, that kind of sucks.
We got some pretty serious messages from some pretty big names that were not happy, and we've never did it to upset people.
Yeah,
like I just get that. I'm not trying to defend it or anything, but like there was no intention to upset. We just wanted to talk and hear his thoughts. Like we wanted to hear his story. Like what's his story? What's he got to say? That's what we did. That was the video. We didn't talk about any like crazy drama or anything nuts in there. So
yeah. And then you get into the weird realm where it's like, well, if you are going to have them on, then you should ask the hard questions, and you should push back, and you should blah, blah, blah. And it's like, why can't we just have a conversation and like
talk about whatever we want?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I mean, there's definitely some people that I know that I probably wouldn't have a very productive conversation with, so I wouldn't seek that out from them. But, you know, if they asked me to come on, or if they asked, if they were like, hey, can I be a part of your 30 for 30 or something like that, and it was a person that I was kind of iffy on, I would probably still have the conversation. But I probably wouldn't seek it out with certain people, because it's like, I just don't see how this conversation will be a productive one.
I think it's nice to have seen them in a conversation before, whether it's on a YouTube or like seeing how they interact, see how they hold themselves, you know, compose themselves, that kind of thing. But in reality, if they don't react well or don't handle the conversation, whatever, it should be them that are seeing the bad light. Like they're the ones doing that. You're just creating the opportunity. But I think that's it. People will get upset that you created the opportunity for that to happen. Where, okay, you know,
I think it's tough too, because I have a hard, like, I want to have a genuine conversation with somebody. Like I want to be talking to the person who is not on camera, you know, like I just want like a one-on-one. And a lot of times, and this like a personal take, I guess, but I feel like when I was speaking to someone who's drunk, that's not the person I want to be talking to. That's a different person. So, and I feel the same way about some people in this space that use their YouTube, but they play a character, and that's not how they actually are in real life. So I've definitely met some people who are very different in real life than they are the way that they portray themselves on their videos. And for me, it's like, I want to talk to the person who I met in real life. I don't want to talk to the person that you play on your YouTube or on YouTube. So it's a weird like thing with that where it's like, I would love to have a conversation with this person, but I want to have the conversation with that person, not the YouTube character.
I mean, I think that makes your title of today's video even more flattering. I think that's very, very sweet of you thinking about that. Because, yeah, I mean, honestly, we all can think of names if we think of someone that's like not genuine in this hobby and not themselves, which it sucks. But again, I think I do think that, excuse me, I think the good part with that is that it does help us shape our own critical thinking of like, what should we be doing and what should we be talking about and interacting with? Like, what is the good people you want to surround yourself with? I've learned a lot, you know, in that over the past few years. It's definitely helped me mature. But it, you know, what I don't love is this might be a little bit of a hot take kind of thing. I don't love when people really emotionally defend others, especially when they don't need it. I see a lot of that, like someone that will say something or act a certain way that isn't very nice or like shouldn't be done in the hobby, and people like vehemently defend them. That's super odd to me.
Kind of like,
it's like
basically like tribalism. Like they have their person that they like, and kind of no matter what they do or say, they're gonna defend them.
Yeah, like it's nice to be defended. It's nice to know that someone's in your, you know, in your court and on your side. But when someone is objectively saying something that they really shouldn't be saying, you know, not a good thing, you shouldn't be defending that. Like you should be standing up maturely and using radical candor. Like, hey, you shouldn't have said that. You know, that's what a real friend, you know, a real follower should be doing is pushing them. Hey, like, you got to fix that. You need to sort the situation out, not defending them and, you know, just jumping on their side because they're your friend. There's definitely like an immaturity still in the hobby somewhat that I've seen with that. I think there's so many, 99% of people in this hobby are amazing. You've shown it, you know, over this past few years, like we've talked about. There's so many good people. I just try to focus on that. That's really, I really just try to focus my attention and my time on that. That's where I get the benefit. You know, that's where I love it.
What's up, Jackson? What's up, Greenie? What's up, Pullfather? Hoodoo? Grimer is the name. The two-faced Grimer. Guy's mean IRL. Don't let him fool you. No, he's not. He's a great guy. He's more mean online, to me at least. Damn you, Grimer.
He's cute. Pullfather is a fun one. He is, I don't know if he knows this, he's the first ever person that's recognized me in real life back in the day. We were at Tampa, somewhere near Tampa, at a card show, you know, and he came up to me and he was like, "You're Oak, right?" And I was like, just mind blown. I was so blown away. Like, I like couldn't even talk straight. I felt like so, like, surprised. And I was like, I was like, this is like a really cool dude. Like, he was a really cool guy. I was like, wait, I should be like recognizing you. And then, you know, I was glad he started making a bunch of videos, and that's been really cool. Seeing his interaction in the hobby is like such an integral part of it now.
Yeah, it's funny. I feel like every time I'm at a Collecticon, somehow we run into each other because he's at basically all of them, and
all
so
the places. Yeah.
I see him at so many, and it's always fun running into him. I mean, I think in Miami he opened like a Skyridge pack or something.
It's so crazy.
He is crazy, man. But yeah, it is super cool to watch that opening. NMF Brian, how's it going? My wife and I are really enjoying this convo. The whole world will benefit from listening to this. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So sweet.
Awesome. Yeah, first, if we want to do the two things that I've been asking everybody, and then we can jump into the game that you have.
I didn't prepare for that. I've listened to you ask people, and I didn't even prepare an answer. I was so focused on that game I was playing with.
I feel like we've almost been hitting all of these all the way throughout the conversation. But so one of them is hot take. So hot take that you have in the hobby right now, and one of them is maybe a more specific act of kindness. So something that someone's done for you, that you've done for someone, or that you've seen between two people.
Okay. The hot take, I think I would say, I might channel it back to what we were talking about with other people making videos. I think there's a lot of people that aren't in this hobby the way they should be. And I'll explain that a little bit. No way.
Oh, your wife is Alice. Nice. Cool.
That is so cool. I didn't realize. Okay. That makes a lot of sense now. It just blew my mind a little bit. Hi, Alice. Hi, Brian. I think there's a lot of people in this hobby that could do more. And I don't mean that like, I don't mean I'm talking bad about them. I mean that like inspirationally. I think people have a lot to say and a lot to show. And that's might be a hot take because I think some people are like pretty chill. They just want to consume, they want to watch content, they want to open cards, like they don't want to get, it makes them nervous. Like you're talking about big guests. Some people get nervous putting the camera or recording themselves. You don't need to show your face. Mm-hmm. Get your mobile, right? Get your cell phone, put it on a tripod or whatever, record yourself opening some packs, talk over your collection, open a binder, whatever it is. Just PK did it. He's literally the reason I got hooked. I never even saw his face. It's cool interacting and hearing people's thoughts. A lot of people want that. So you guys at home that aren't doing that stuff, a couple of you in the chat don't get enough of this stuff from you. Get interacting, do more. I want more from you. So that might be a bit of a hot take.
Well, one person that I don't think he makes much content, but would be really cool is Trainer Max. Trainer Max is kind of a high roller when it comes to like graded cards and flipping and stuff like that. But he also lives in Japan, and he's been attending these like massive card tournaments, and like a vlog about the 5,000 person card tournament that he was just in, and traveling to it and seeing that event and watching him place or play against somebody else in Japan. Like that type of stuff would be so much fun to watch. But if he's not comfortable with it, then he's not. But that would be incredible content, I think.
Have you ever heard the phrase dark horse? It's a bit of an English phrase.
Yeah.
He's a dark horse. Like there's way more to him than you see at first glance.
Yeah.
I agree. And that's the kind of stuff where it's like, they've got a lot. Dark Ibex's conversation with you, I felt a little bit like that. I was like learning stuff about it, and I was like, he's so chill talking about this stuff. I'm like, this is big stuff.
Yeah.
like the things he's talking about, I'm like, you should be making videos, like a lot of videos about these things and these experiences and what you're going through. It's hilarious.
He's a cool one. So he's done some really cool like Japanese content because he lives in Tokyo right now. And he's a person that never showed his face. He has a personal YouTube channel that his face is on, but on his channel, he never showed his face in the Pokemon space until our chat, actually. But I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think I'd ever
call it out. Yeah, I didn't call it out as like a big deal or anything. But yeah, that's the first time that he's showed his face to the Pokemon space, at least.
Good looking dude. No need, seriously, no need to hide it. Yeah. It's not Quasimodo, and he's got to worry about it. Like mind blown. There's a lot of people I think that could do more in that sense.
Yeah.
Let's see the question. I forgot it.
Voodoo. I know at least for me, the hesitation is really, even if majority of people will be nice and supportive, you'd rather just not deal with the 1% extra work you put in. Putting the 1% somehow can ruin it. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is where you mean like the 1% of negative comments. In my opinion, and I know that some people have different thoughts on moderation than I do. I'm way more strict on moderation than I feel like most people are. But if someone's
I have
not
like 20.
if someone's not being constructive with the criticism, like if someone says like this cut here was annoying, this sound effect was annoying, this next time could you maybe do this? I think that would be cooler. I didn't like this video because this. Instead, if someone's just like, well, you got a big forehead or something like that, I just ban those people because that's not a person that needs to come back to my channel. If their first interaction is going to be an insult or something. And I've gotten to the point, I guess, where I've had enough of them where it's just like, you just get rid of the comment, you get rid of the person, and you move on. Because there's 100,000 people, nice people for every one asshole that's going to hop in the comments.
I think the problem you have that I don't have, and I don't know where the scale tips on that. I've had a few negative comments, but very few, like not many at all. And I've made quite a lot of videos, and I've been in a lot of videos and stuff. And it's because my volume's low. A very low amount of views, very low amount of subscribers. And I would say we're like a fairly close-knit little group of people. Most of them I would say are probably other content creators, or people in the Discord, that kind of stuff. And so my experience with that hasn't been, nowhere near 1%. I wouldn't say of negative comments. So I think viewing it from our perspective, who it's going to be dependent on what you do. Do you want to be a channel with thousands of people and like really an actual real YouTube channel, or do you just want to make some videos with your friends? Like me, that's like I don't really have any intentions or goals. Like I'm not really very good at it, honestly. Like you make like really amazing videos, Java, and like I'm just not at that level where it would warrant it. It's just I just feel like it's me and my friends hanging out kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of it is like the environment you create. Because you have a real YouTube, you're gonna have the public in there, right? There's the Looney Tunes are gonna jump in and say stuff, and the haters and stuff. And I'm just not like I'm not that good, so I don't attract them. I don't get the views for it.
Well, and
so there's that too.
And sometimes being more strict, some people get hit in the crossfire. Like Fat Belly Collects, I guess. Long time ago, I had removed from my YouTube channel, and he messaged me the other day and was like, "Hey, I think I'm like banned from your channel." And I went back in and looked, and I was like, "Oh shit, he is!" And I removed him. It must have been from a long time ago. And
must have said something, yeah.
And it's the same thing in Discord. It's kind of a running joke now, but I had Ponga blocked in Discord for like a year because I just thought he was an asshole because I didn't understand his the way that
humor.
he communicates with the sarcasm and stuff like that. I just thought he was a dick. But then you meet these people in person and you're like, oh, you're actually a really like great guy.
It's not a dick.
And this is just sarcasm, and this is just kind of who you are. So people get caught in the crossfire every once in a while, and I will unban if requested and all that stuff. But
I mean, I had someone talk about me pretty badly in videos. So that person made a video because of me once, like a hate video. He's not a dick. So like, I won't say like it doesn't happen, but just surround yourself with good people, I guess is what I'm saying. And like you say, they'll have you back. You can have mods on there too. People will have you back. Yeah. Just create your own community.
Jackson, no, you're not. You're still here, so you're not. You're good.
What was the second question?
The second question.
You asked me. The first one was a hot take.
Oh,
I forgot what the second one was.
A positive experience that you've either had with somebody, or you did for somebody, or you saw between two people.
I'm not gonna say one I did because I feel like that's gross. I don't want to toot my own horn. But I will say I do, because I do trades and stuff. Pika Drew just sent me this. This was a pretty cool, wholesome gift that he sent me. We've gone back and forth with a few things. For my birthday, it was my birthday last month. He sent me a birthday Pikachu that I guarantee 99% of the chat has never seen before. It is a jumbo birthday
Oh,
Pikachu.
damn.
How cool is that?
That's so sick.
The
You got
cake and
Eevee with the little birthday hat on.
absolutely gorgeous card,
That's
right?
adorable.
And it's a huge happy birthday on it.
Yeah.
And it's real. It's like an actual real.
That's so freaking cool.
Love
I didn't
it.
even know that existed.
Such a
that's
cool
awesome.
promo. Yeah, and they sent me like a fancy like little case thing for it to go in, and so that was a wonderful birthday gift. That was really sweet getting that.
I
Greeny
feel like
actually.
Pikachu is another one that he used to make content more often. Now
Dark
he's
Horse.
kind of fallen off of it, but he's I think he's like silently killing it.
You want to talk about Dark Horse?
Yeah.
That dude is he's a superstar for sure. Yeah, and then talking about Max Potion earlier, Max sent me some cards. He sent me some One Piece because I've been really enjoying One Piece lately. The only Magic set of this year that I've really been interested
Boom
in.
Bro's so cool. Yeah,
I can't wait to open that.
I was a huge. I read a lot of Redwall back in the day, in like middle school and high school.
You just blew my mind. That's a long time since I've read it. I want to say that.
Yeah.
Greeny just sent me a Journey Together box.
Nice.
Like,
yeah.
That's the stuff that I love. I'll send something out and trade. And I love the playing around and the hobby. This, Legend of Luke, right? He sent me a stocking of
Oh yeah, Metazoo.
It's so cool.
That's awesome.
Just stuff like that, I love it.
Yeah.
That whole box, I don't know if you can see it. I've got a whole box just of slabs that people have signed for me, that I've done trades with and stuff like that. And it's the people, right? It's just, there's so many. I have so many good examples of people doing so good things to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's awesome.
Let's see. Professor Oak hate video.
No, I don't want to talk about it. I shouldn't have mentioned it.
My bad.
Ignore me.
Moving on. Greeny is curious before we hop into the game. The last good movie we watched and the last good show we watched.
You go first.
Last good show I watched and finished. Ooh, I have two. I'll briefly mention the new season of Daredevil. I thought it was pretty good. I haven't watched the last episode yet, I don't think, but I've been enjoying it. I'm glad that they brought back the violent, dark nature of it, the way that it was on Netflix, and they didn't kind of Disney-fy it when it, came out of Disney. So that's been nice. And then a show that I thought was amazing. I think it'll be like award-winning at the end of the year. It's a medical drama called The Pit on HBO.
I have that saved, ready to watch.
Yeah, it's so good. Highly recommend. If you like medical dramas, that show is awesome.
It seemed like from the little trailer, it seemed like it's like pretty action packed. Like there's a lot high intense lot happening. Is that what it's like?
Yeah, it's like you remember the show 24 where like every episode was an hour of the day?
Yep, very intense.
So they do that, but it's in the ER of a hospital. So every episode is 1 hour. It's a 15-hour shift, and there's all sorts of crazy shit that happens. But apparently it's fairly medically accurate as well. So it's kind of got everything going for it. I thought it was really, really good.
They must have hired like a doctor or like a nurse team or something to help support on. I'm trying to look up at the movie we just watched last week. For me, we're watching one at the moment called Landman, and it's got the
Landman.
Was it Billy Bob Thornton? Is that his name? He's in it. And that's pretty interesting. It's been pretty cool. It's unique. Like I like that it's not like any other show I've watched before. It's like fairly unique, and it's talking about the guys that work on the like I don't know what they're called. The pump things. I forgot what they said it was called. Jack pump or something for the oil in Texas. I didn't realize like how big and how much oil there was in Texas. Like how much of a thing that was.
Yeah.
So I've actually learned from the show too. That's been good. A movie, I want to say, I can't find it on my phone. I think it's called Viper. That was pretty interesting one that we just saw, and it has I think his name's Josh Hartnett in it. It's like Viper or My Viper or something like that.
I
That's
can't
pretty good.
think of a movie that I watched recently, or at least one that I would recommend. I was really excited for a movie that came out yesterday. It's called Havoc, and it's on Netflix, and it's an action thriller sort of thing from the director that did The Raid. I don't know if you've seen those movies, like The Raid 1 and 2.
I can't think of it.
Really good action films. But Havoc was the action was good, but the rest of it was kind of eh.
Oh, did you see Adolescence on
Yes.
Netflix?
Yeah.
I mean, fantastic. The story obviously was like pretty odd, like what happened. The way that it was shot, obviously all in one scene, the cinematography is just fantastic. I mean, just absolutely brilliant. Just the quality and the precise but like still smooth effects they did with it. Very good production, honestly.
Yeah. I can't
I
imagine
would like
doing
that same team to do another show, but with a different situation. I'm curious if they're going to do that in season 2.
Yeah. Some British dramas are just so good. Same with Korean. Korean dramas are really good too. There's a lot of really good Korean dramas on Netflix.
I miss British humor, like making fun of each other. That's not as much of a thing here. In England, we'll like try to make the other person look dumb or stupid, make fun of each other, and it's like funny. It's like that's how
basically what game night is every weekend. Everyone just shitting on each other in boys.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I'm all for it.
It's funny.
I miss that. Like when I first came here and I'd called people like cuss words, they like didn't laugh. I'd feel so bad. I'm like, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to like upset you. Because I'd call them like bad words and would say stuff, and that's just what you do back home with the people that you like. It's like almost like an affection. You would never do it to people you don't like, because then it's real. And so you would do that here, and it's an endearment almost. It's endearing, and not so much here. I learned that pretty quick.
Any random pickups lately?
Random pickups. I got a things in my watch later that I'm trying to find, but I can't. I ain't got much super lately. I got a cool Robin Hood.
Oh, nice.
That I liked.
Yeah.
I have my little Woody. I'm trying to get my Buzz to match it. The funny thing with this is I accidentally bought an actually pretty rare version. So you see here, it's the pristine, it's a regular Pixar, but it has the gold badge. And they like don't exist. I can't find any others. It's like a gold variant version of it or something.
That's cool.
And I've found a bunch of the buzzers that match it, but none of them are the gold version. So if any of you see it, let me know if you find one. I need it in a pristine 10.
Yeah. Nice.
There's a bunch of cool people in the chat.
If you want to do the game,
okay,
got some time before we call it.
I've never shared.
So at the bottom, there's a present button.
Okay.
And then you should be able to select which screen you want to present.
Oh, but this is PowerPoint, and I'm on my Mac, and I never use Mac, so I'm trying to figure out how to like make it be the presentation. Let me see. Oh my God, not that one. I just screwed the whole thing up. Give me 1 second. Can we crop the screen if I share? Is there a way to do that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, maybe you'll just have to see the whole thing. Slides and PDFs. Oh, hang on. Oh, I can actually add the slide into this and do it. So let me, okay, let's do this. Okay, this might help. Sorry, guys, not prepared for this, with it being a secret thing.
Chat's just roasting you.
They are.
Yeah.
I don't do cybersecurity on a Mac though. Mac's like the fanciest thing ever. I've only had it 3 years and I still don't know how to use a damn thing. It's processing. Whole team. I run a lot. I run a few teams actually. It's funny. Okay, it looks like it's trying to add it.
Oh, here we go.
All right, let me see. Oh, you got it.
Yep.
Do you want to set it up? Oh, it did it. This is so cool.
And then you should be able to flip through.
So JavaAkuma.
Oh yeah, there you go. Nice.
I'm sorry. I gotta do the silliness with it, of course.
Yes.
JavaAkuma.
Perfect.
I hope they laugh at this because this is nothing crazy. It's more so like just a little bit of mild fun is all. So
yeah, Screeny, you've been replaced.
Saturday daytime only. So who said it best? Basically, what I did was I went through some of your and mine older videos, and I pulled quotes that we said.
Oh no!
And I want you to guess if you think you said it or I said it.
Okay.
I don't know how well this is gonna go.
Okay.
There's nothing outlandish. But it's like just try to pick some interesting stuff. And then I made notes of who said it and why, like what it's in reference to. So JavaAkuma. Let's see.
I like it.
All right, first one. So a lot of times when you see places selling a PlayStation 5, I don't know what the S is doing there. It's coming with a game, another controller, a remote, stuff like that. It's a little more expensive, so bots won't buy it. Do you think that was you or me?
Well, way back in the day, I made a video, and I don't know if it's still up or not. It might still be, but I made a video about the people scalping PS5s. So it could be potentially from that. I could have been talking about like places trying not to promote the scalping of PS5s.
So it's not from that video. I'll give you. So I don't want to sway you one way or the other, but I'll tell you, it's not from your PS5 video.
I could see myself saying this though, so I'm
gonna keep score too.
I'm gonna say it was me in some video. I don't know which video.
It was you. And you said it in your Charizard UPC video.
Oh.
You were talking about people
so I was comparing it
and,
to the PS5s.
Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
You were kind of linking it up. Good one. You got a point already. Right.
All right. Let's go.
Okay. Desperately wants to choose which Pokemon card set I'm going to open this video, and then I'm going to let her.
I mean, it's probably me from the video where I let my cat choose which.
It is. Cards it was such a good video.
I love those videos, but they're they perform so bad, but I love them so much.
No, but it was it was a fun one. Yeah. I love that one. It was like that's what I want, like something a bit new and fun and different. And you were like playing with the cat, and it was like picking the sets. I loved it. Okay, it's pretty exciting. I love it. I can kind of browse through, see what I've got, see what I paid, see what else I need to collect.
This almost sounds like a PSA registry thing. Like you're talking about the registry and that you can look through and see which more like Pikachus or something you need to add to your collection easily. So I'm going to say it's you and you're talking about your registry.
literally exactly right. 100%.
Yeah.
I feel like that one is maybe a bit more obvious now that I think about it. But yes, yeah, 100. Like literally, I made a video
Let's
about
go.
PSA registry, and that was one that I talked about.
Let's go.
You 3 for 3. You're
Hell
crushing it.
yeah.
Let's see. Okay. Who's that? Dobie. Holy, I want to be famous. Oh my god, you ruined my intro, Dobie.
That's gotta. I don't know if you swear in your videos or not.
Oh,
but
I do.
Okay.
I definitely do.
That's gotta be you. I can't. Yeah, that's you. I don't know what you're talking about, but that's gotta be you.
This was
It's
you. Me? Yes. This is, I think, might be the oldest video you have on your channel. You did a video sketching Pokemon, and then you were like doing like a who's that Pokemon, like the old one, and some guy called Dobie came into the chat, and
that's an old video.
Super old, and it was like trying to spam click this thing to get famous or something. You were like, I want to be famous. You're like messing with them.
Yeah.
Like I want to be famous. It was funny. Okay. Yeah, that one. You. So let's do this next one. Someone that you would enjoy having a beer with, and not just for fun, but for intellect too. He's definitely a smart guy. Bonus point if you get who it was that you or I were talking about.
That you're talking about?
Bonus point.
I feel like this.
And he is in the chat. I'll give you that.
Oh boy. Well, I haven't seen any particularly smart. No, I'm just kidding.
He's going to retract that.
Someone that you would enjoy having a beer with, and not just for fun, but for intellect too. He's definitely a smart guy. I feel like this is you.
Who do you think it could be if it was me?
Who would be the smart guy in chat?
So you can still recover a point if you get that right.
Now, see, here's the problem: is if I pick someone, that means everyone else I don't see it to be as smart as this person.
But remember, you're quoting me, so you.
Oh yeah.
In that sense, you can get yourself out of it.
I would say you're talking about Mason.
I was.
Yes. Yes.
That's awesome.
Let's go.
2 points.
Mason is an absolute gem to have a beer with, and he is very smart.
That is. I really hope he heard you guess that. That is so funny. Yes, I literally was in a video talking about Mason. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, this next one's a good one. I can hear you in the comments screaming, should have kept it sealed. Should have kept it sealed.
I feel like it could be me, but I'm trying to figure out what I opened. Oh,
it's old too. Just bear in mind,
it's
not a new video. Not to sway you either way, but
maybe like my Fire Red Leaf Green pack or something. But I would say that it's me.
It was me.
Oh, what did you open?
You got one wrong. An Evo Skies ETB.
Oh.
and I got, I'm not joking, Java. I got nothing.
Oh, like, no.
Literally zero. It was probably the worst thing I've ever opened in my life.
Oh, no.
And now, I don't know what they're going for, but like Evo Skies ETBs they're not cheap. So very funny. Okay. Yeah, that was a good guess though. I could definitely see when you open the packs. A lot of the performance of the trailer didn't look great. So I'm hoping that this game and this trailer looks a lot more full and it shows a bit more gameplay.
So it's probably...
And I'll do another bonus point if you can guess which game we were talking about.
I feel like... Oh, okay. I think it's me because I used to do trailer reactions, but I'm not sure how many of them are still up on my channel. So it's probably a Pokemon game because I think those are probably the only ones I left up on my channel. So I would say
it is Pokemon.
I think it's me. And did I do one for Legends Art? I feel like I could say this for Legends Arceus or Scarlet and Violet, but I'm gonna say it was me and for Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, you're so close.
Was it Arceus?
It was the Legends Arceus one.
Damn it.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you had it.
Yeah.
You still get a point because it was you.
Oh, so close.
You're doing great. You're doing fantastic. Okay. So this next one's a good one. This is probably you guys watching every one of my YouTube videos, just rolling your eyes at me like, oh, seriously, another open thumbnail with your mouth open. This one made me chuckle.
Well,
who do you think that is?
Probably me because I have a lot of open mouth thumbnails.
I had to add that one just for the laugh.
I don't know which video it would be, but yeah.
That actually is probably one of your best, and again, not high views, but one of my favorites. That was the one where you made Pokemon Pikachu pancakes.
Oh.
And you said this about the pancake because the Pikachu looked like he was like doing an open mouth like thing.
Gotcha.
And you're like, oh, this is probably you guys, saying this is that. You were making, and that's the only reason I said this, like me, just poking fun at it because that's what you were doing. You were poking fun at yourself with it, so it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't have any plans. I don't have any plans to stop. The content's always changing, and I'm glad that people out there enjoying the videos.
I would say you. Because you probably get a lot more questions about like, when's the next video? When's the next video? Because I'm a bit more consistent.
Love it. But you're wrong.
What?
You said plot twist, a bit of a wholesome plot twist. You said this in the video about our trade, the one that you made about me. And you were talking about the cards that were sent you. I sent you, just a couple of just random cards. That,
did you send me a note or a message that said something on it that triggered?
Gotcha. I said in the thank you card, please don't ever stop making videos. And you were like, okay. Don't worry, Oak. I don't have any plans to stop. And then here we are today doing the video together all that time later. So it was like super awesome for me.
Nice.
Okay, we got left. This is the last one. He said I got to read the next one like I'm a person from Texas. Oh no, this is going to get clipped. Oh God. Okay, last one. Sometimes your best investments are the ones you don't make. Sometimes your best investments are the ones you don't make.
Perfect. I don't feel like I talk about investments all that much.
All right.
True. Sometimes your best investments are the ones you don't make. That sounds like something I would say in a video because I missed out on like a drop or something and I was trying to make myself feel better. There's been so many that are me. There's only been like one that's Oak. I feel like there's got to be one more that's Oak. I'm like metagaming at this point. I'm going to say Oak.
Wrong.
Oh.
But it also wasn't you.
It's freaking Dan, isn't it?
This was President Trump.
What? Oh my God.
I was like, I gotta throw a curveball in there first.
All right.
Because like neither of us would probably ever say that. So I just wanted to throw you off your game a little bit. Yeah, Trump said that, and a little backhanded way of why I did that is I have my citizenship test at my interview next month. So I was just like, I just thought that'd be funny to throw something in political.
Are you excited? Are you ready?
No, I'm not. I haven't even started studying. Very good.
No.
I have my study guide next to me, but it's like 110 pages or something crazy. Let me get rid of
Well,
it.
at least your school will be done. What did you say, like next week, and then you'll have some time?
Yeah, I'll have like 3.5 weeks to study. And you have to learn. There's 100 questions, and they all have different like answers and stuff. And they ask you up to 10, and as soon as you've got 6 right, as long as you get 6 right, then they stop and you've passed, basically. So because they only ask you, a handful, you really have to learn all of the questions, because they might ask you the 5 or 10 that you haven't learned at the end. They might.
Yeah.
So you have to learn all of them. So, excuse me, it's pretty challenging. I hope the chat enjoyed that. That was fun. Just something a little different.
Yeah. Thanks so much for putting that together.
Yeah. Thank you, Dark Ibex, for the inspiration to do something.
Yeah, it's sometimes I get to like an hour and I'm like, oh boy, what else do we have to talk about? So it's nice when people bring this stuff. It makes my job a little bit easier. So I appreciate it.
Change it up. Yeah, it seems like they had fun in the chat. Everyone's all making fun of me and my accent.
It was great. It was incredible. Hopefully you won't get deported for it.
That's all, folks.
All right, guys. Well, we'll probably wrap it up here. I appreciate everyone being here. And Oak, if you want to let people know where to support you and where they can find you,
jump on. Thanks for having me. I've really enjoyed it. I love chatting with you. I've really loved the content. I'm looking forward to these next last few that you've got. I have a YouTube channel. It's Professor Oak. I think the tag is at Professor Oak YouTube. So you should be able to find me with that. And then Slabbed Podcast. Search that. We're the only one that would come up. And subscribe. And subscribe to Java if you're not. I think most people probably are in here. But if you guys come across this video, give us a thumbs up and a subscribe on here too. Thank you. That was awesome.
Yeah, definitely check out Slab Podcast, guys. I talked to DeGreen Shiz earlier in the month. And so I've talked to both halves of the podcast at this point. So definitely go check that out. If you haven't, hit the like button before you leave. I would appreciate that very much. And tomorrow I am talking to, I think, Jodo Jake. Yes, I'm talking to Jodo Jake tomorrow evening.
That's a fun one.
A person who I have not talked to in the past or on the channel. And actually, who else is left? So I have Jodo Jake, Legend of Luke, as long as he's not in the delivery room. And Thrifty.
Oh yeah.
So very excited about the next couple conversations that we have.
Yeah, that's a pretty superstar little lineup you're finishing out with.
To round out the month, yeah.
I don't know how I got into that mix, but
and then we're doing something special on the 30th. So the 30th is something special to kind of celebrate all of it, and it'll be a bit of a surprise. So I'll let you guys know what's happening on the 30th to round everything out. Appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
See ya.